everyone, and welcome to another Inspiring Woman interview. I'm Jen Wells, the co-founder of brandswan, and I'm here to introduce you to Deidra Kindred. We are very excited to interview Deidra today. She is the CEO of Your Healthcare Nurse Advocates, which is an organization that handles some patient advocacy, getting people to have a better understanding of their options within healthcare and feeling a little bit safer and more comfortable with the choices that they need to make. And then she also has a podcast called Health Chats Among Friends, which I am going to go check out as soon as this interview is over. So with that said, welcome, Deidra, and go ahead and tell us a little bit more about yourself and your organization.
Thank you for having me. First of all, I'm super honored and super excited. Well, my name is Deidra Kindred. I have been a nurse for over 25 years. My background is cardiovascular intensive care, CCU, critical care. It is IVIG infusions in the home nursing. It is also legal nurse consulting and any ICU dealing with adults, especially cardiovascular ICU. And now I have my wonderful company, Your Healthcare Nurse Advocates. We are educators, advocators, and navigators. So a lot of people get us confused with a home health company. We are not hands-on. We are basically your liaison for you and your loved one, your family, to help you navigate the complex healthcare system.
Do your patients tend to be any particular age? Like, do you have older patients, or is it just across the board?
You know, that's a great question. So basically, it's mostly people who are in the, I have two. It's the sandwich generation, meaning they are anywhere from maybe 30 to 50s, and they're caring for their loved one, their parents. And the reason we call them a sandwich generation is because you got your job, you got your work, you got your life, you got your kids, you got your husband, but you also have mom and dad. So you're in like a sandwich. The other set of my clients are people who are maybe have a chronic illness. Maybe you were just diagnosed with congestive heart failure. Maybe you were just diagnosed with lupus and you have more than 3 physicians. You have more than 3 physicians, everybody needs a patient advocate, because the physicians, unfortunately, they don't have the time to talk to each other and update each other on who did what, why, when, nor you. So that's where we come in as healthcare advocates.
What inspired you to get started with patient advocacy?
So basically going through my career, and I would see so many things that just didn't sit right with me as a nurse, whether it was a patient interaction with another healthcare professional or a event that wasn't explained properly, or the patient circled right back into the hospital because they did not know or understand what they were supposed to be doing on their part. And I said, that's not right. But then the final call was my mom at the age of 52 was diagnosed with Parkinson's, MS. She had already had asthma, where she had to go into the pulmonologist at least twice a month, especially during seasonal allergy changes, and get injections. And she had colon cancer. So that's 5 physicians that we had to navigate. So meaning that I would have to go and ask, could I get off of work? And then I would have to be questioned from my supervisor. Well, didn't you just take your mom to the doctor last week? Well, that was a different physician. So learning that frustration at having to be in the sandwich generation and fighting with my supervisors about getting time off from work so I can go take my mom to the doctor and sit in that doctor's visit and I'll be able to understand and help her understand. That's where the communication starts, in the doctor's visits. But if they're going over your head, you don't understand, and there's nobody else there with you, that's where the confusion happens. The misunderstanding about medications, the misunderstanding about procedures, the misunderstanding about who does what, when, where, what was already ordered, what doesn't need to be ordered, what should be ordered, just different things like that. And I said to myself, well, what if I was a lay person, meaning not in the healthcare fulfilled it all. And I had to fight this battle. Not to mention, I had a household to run, a son to raise, PTA meetings, soccer practice, things like that. So where is the work-life balance? It doesn't exist for these people who are navigating the healthcare system. So I was like, if I could have a neurology nurse go to the doctors with my mom and I could still conduct my life and go to work, I would hire that nurse to give me the good, the bad, and the ugly. So that's how I came up with Your Healthcare Nurse Advocates.
Can you tell us about a project or accomplishment that you consider to be one of the most significant in your career?
That is a great question. It's really hard to answer because I'm just getting started. I've been doing advocacy most of my life, but the business, I've been doing it about 2 years. And so I'm going to say surviving during COVID in a business that you thought of and it's a great idea, it's going to change lives, and it's going to help people in a different way. So anybody who survives a business during COVID, whether startup or continuing, that's a major accomplishment.
What is the most rewarding thing about what you do?
And I don't want to get too choked up. The most rewarding thing about what I do is when I see somebody go, I can be my own advocate now. I know how to speak up for myself now, the right way, right? Being able to see that person say, I understand now, and I'm a part of this, and I know what responsibilities I have, and I know what responsibilities hold others accountable for, and I can do this. That's rewarding.
Can you tell us about a personal or business discovery that you've made and how it affected where you are today?
Wow. Okay, I'll go this way. A business discovery that I made was knowing in my heart that people needed this service. But then when I implement the service, confirmation that people need this service. Because you can talk about it all day. It's really nobody other than private duty advocates it's an emerging industry, right? So you can talk about the advocates that are behind the scenes, the advocates that are in the hospital, the advocates that work for surgical centers, the advocates that work for insurance companies. But this right here, it's amazing.
All right, last question. If you could go back and share some wisdom or guidance with your younger self, what would it be?
I would tell my younger self to listen to that inner voice and to be able to have that confidence. Don't let anyone else's fears supersede or override what you know in your heart you should be doing. And listening to that inner small voice, which I believe is the Holy Spirit. I think that he tells you where and what you should be doing and giving you that intuition. Listen to that gut feeling, right? I would tell my younger self, stay focused, stay determined, stay on track. All the other stuff will fall into place. Don't worry about having it now. It's going to come, right? And it's always, we have this big dream about your life later on and how you think it should be and how you think it should be mapped out to be. But sometimes life happens while we're making plans. So being able to go with the flow, slow down, listen to that inner voice, and trust your gut.
Was there anything that you wanted to talk about that you didn't get a chance to?
I am just so happy and flattered to have the opportunity to be here. I know this business is my purpose, and finding your purpose is what it's all about. And the greater good of helping other people is so rewarding. It's so rewarding.